In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today we're going to be talking with an entrepreneur and a podcast host named Dave Gulas, who's had lots of experience as an entrepreneur and integrating AI tools into podcasts and other places. And welcome to the show, Dave.
Hey, thank you, Emanuel. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time today to dig in and go on this walk with me. So I'm curious about kind of when you started digging into the AI tools.
Me personally, probably about a little over a year ago, right? Spring of 2023, when it really caught on like wildfire in terms of everyone was talking about it. You're hearing all this stuff, and I was kind of like every other lay person out there, like, what is Chat GPT? You're hearing this stuff. And so, yeah, I just naturally, like any new innovation or any new, important trend within the marketplace, I just started, playing with it, experimenting it, and really trying to use it to figure out what it was and then how it could be beneficial.
And what was what's the first application that you started using for your businesses?
Yeah, I mean, just to me too, it just seemed to be like such an evolution of, let's say, Google, right? Where of course you can use Google for search and pull up stuff with search results, but you really that's really just the beginning, right? This was almost like a personal assistant type of vibe along with Google, right? Where you can give it specific commands and it could whether summarize things or explain something to you or give you perspective on something that happened, or even like when we're trying to figure out aspects of people that we serve, what are the top 5 challenges for this subset of people, based on data, right? And it can quickly kind of pull that up, and then, well, why is this important to XYZ, right? So when you're really evaluating maybe content you're creating and ways to get across your message and who that would benefit most, or just trying to figure out other people to contact or other groups that potentially could be could benefit from your services. I mean, that was really the first ways that I started using it.
That's interesting. So that touches on this concept of generative engine optimization, right? GEO compared to SEO, search engine optimization. And so you're using it as a search engine, and then really being able to have it be additive to a project, which I think is a cool development in the way these tools like chat and others are giving us information and going and searching for information.
Yeah, and even, right, like I know, and I have teenagers in school, and a lot of times they're being told you can't use AI or don't use AI in this project. But even some of the ways that like, if you think about a school assignment, that people may use it, as an executive, as a busy executive, right, you can do the same thing. So, I had a friend even that something happened, and they wanted my perspective on an article of something newsworthy that happened. This is like a 5-page article, right? And I'm seeing this at like late in the day, and I'm kind of like, brain's not, functioning maybe at full speed right after a long day. And I can put the article in chat and just say, hey, summarize this for me so I get the key points, right?
Right.
Oh, okay, this is what happened. And then, you're more prepared to kind of give an opinion on something. So even ways that you can shortcut, having to do even a project like that, there's the possibilities are limitless, but that's just another example.
Yeah, and I love what you're saying, that being able to churn and summarize large amounts of data is really one of the specialties right now. I did a 2-day strategic planning workshop with a client, and I was able to take those 2 days worth of transcripts, and in 30 seconds, I had the summary and the action items from that, which would normally be a 3 or 4 hour process. So it's amazing in that respect.
Yeah, right. And especially now, right, we're all looking for ways that we can get more done in less time, or automate some of the lower level tasks. Or, like you said, right, it would have taken hours to summarize all that data. But now if you can have this AI tool do it for you, imagine what that extra time, what other things you can get accomplished. So yeah, it's just really an evolution of productivity.
Yeah, and have you done much research on the other LLMs besides Chat? Is there one that you've landed on, or are you stuck with Chat?
No, I mean, I like Chat because that was the first one.
Yep.
I do like Gemini as well. I mean, Gemini is very easy to use. I haven't really looked at too many other ones beyond that. I mean, are there any other ones that you'd recommend?
I like Claude. I think for business writing, Claude's really solid. And a lot of times I'll have Chat and Claude open and give it the same prompt, and then choose between the two. So that's one way that I use it. And then the Perplexity is also another one that I really like, that does a very good job of bringing in the reference links of where they're getting the information and how they're generating it from that. So I think it's important to stay in touch with tools that bring in these multiple services like that. So Avia.ai is one, AIVIA.ai, where they have a dashboard and you get to choose from which of the GPTs you want to use. And then they also have some built-in chatbots or bots that are either marketing based or financial based. So they've kind of shortcut the process as well. So just because there's so many changes that happen every day, literally.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so I wrote all those down. I'm definitely going to check those out.
That's
for
awesome.
Sure.
And now what's the name of your podcast?
Podcast is called Beyond Fulfillment.
And that's about shipping and e-commerce fulfillment.
Well, not really. So I have a fulfillment company, so that's where the fulfillment part of it comes. I'm CEO and co-founder of EZDC 3PL. So we do e-commerce fulfillment, warehousing, fulfillment, transportation for brands and manufacturers. But the podcast is really about the entrepreneurial journey.
Awesome.
And when I was on my founder's journey, I had so many questions, and I found the most valuable source of learning was conversations with other founders. And then one day the idea hit me, you could turn this into a podcast and really help a lot more people. So it's beyond the fulfillment industry is where the name came from.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, you caught me on the double entendre there. So then I would imagine for your podcast, you're using a few of the AI tools to help process that. Which tools are you using for that?
Yeah, so the most recent one we've implemented about maybe 2 months ago. It's one called Cast Magic, just to give them a plug. I'm not sure if you've heard of that one, but it's a phenomenal suite of tools. And now it's got a Zoom. I record over Zoom, so it's got a Zoom integration. So literally, I record, and then it loads it directly into Cast Magic, and it gives intros, summaries, blog posts, LinkedIn posts, all these different things, and just makes the whole process super easy. Because in the very beginning too, right, I remember recording, and then literally I would have it transcribed, and I was going through the transcription myself, like you
Right.
said, summarizing. And I really wanted to put my all, but I mean, still, you're talking even on the low end, the quick end, at least an hour,
Yeah.
Maybe more to really read through and give, write out a whole bunch of takeaways. Where this, it just populates it, does it automatically, so shortcuts a bunch of time. And then we have another really, really good one. It's called OpusClip.
Yep. I like Opus.
You're familiar with that? Yeah. So that you just load in the full episode, and then it puts it into like 12, 15 different shorts. And then the AI will rank the shorts on based on the current trends, which ones should perform best, whether on YouTube or the other platforms. So those are the two main ones that we use, and they've been very beneficial, and just they shortcut a lot of time, which has allowed me to record more. So
yeah, exactly.
Went from releasing one episode a week to now we publish 2 episodes a week. So just the extra, cutting out all that time just allows us to be more productive and spend more time recording.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's really the key takeaway there, is that these tools take away some of this repetitive work and then free us up to go and do more creative things, like you're saying, record more episodes, because you're saving a few hours a week by having the software do the work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, frankly, the software is doing a better job than I could have done. You know what I mean?
Right.
In terms of summarizing and putting that in, outlining all that. So yeah, just amazing what it can do. And again, right? I don't want to really spend my time doing that, and nor necessarily pay someone to spend their time doing that. So it's just just a excellent shortcut that can be used.
I love it. I agree. I'm curious to know how long you've been doing that podcast.
So we're coming up on a year. I think at this point it's been 11 months.
Oh, okay. So yeah, but you probably, how many episodes you have under your belt?
Like 70.
Yeah, that's good.
7.
That's a good. Yeah, most podcasts don't even make it to 10, right? So anything over that's a win on round one.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, again, speaking of AI, right? Like the biggest hurdle people have is just the consistency and sticking with it. And there's so much to do with the podcast that any way you can automate some of these menial tasks, that helps out tremendously in terms of allowing you to keep recording.
What are a few of the benefits that you've seen from being a podcast host?
Oh wow! I mean, just the ability to connect and network and meet so many different people, right? Like, again, we have a listener base, and it's helped our business. We've gotten direct leads, and it's helped immensely with conversion. So it's been valuable in that respect. But even without that, it's just been such a powerful networking tool.
Yep.
And just allows me to connect with such a diverse group of entrepreneurs, and to be able to interview them and learn from them and hear their stories. It's just incredible. So for me, it's been a game changer. So I'd recommend anyone that if you're thinking about it or you have that ambition, to just get started and keep going. And it can do wonders in a variety of ways.
Yeah, I agree. I concur with you on that. The being able to talk to just about anybody you want to talk to, number one, right? Like there's, I've had very few people say, no, I don't want to be on the show. So that's amazing in itself. And then I feel like now I've just gotten in the last year a PhD in marketing from being able to talk to people who are way more experienced, way smarter, way more integrative of all these marketing concepts. And it's been, I have learned so much from being the podcast host, and I can't believe I waited so long to do it. I wish I would have started way earlier.
Yeah. How long's yours been running?
Let's see. My first episode was like February this year. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm on episode 50, and then I'm looking to get into episode 100 by January. And but one of the things I'm doing is I'm building some ebooks that are compilations of these conversations that are all thematically similar. So like generative engine optimization, which is this new concept we're talking about. I've got a number of episodes, 3 or 4 episodes on that. So I'm going to take that learning, build these ebooks so that way people can consume that information and kind of be on the cutting edge of what I've discovered from these conversations.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, what do you see the kind of the gaps in the software, or what would you hope to see, coming up in the next few months that would help to make your business experience, either as your primary business or your podcast, simpler for you?
Yeah, I just think that as we continue to see the evolution of what it can do, I mean, I look at it as just like a, almost like a personal assistant type of role. So, and then sometimes too, I'll put prompts in and they'll say, well, it's, before X amount of date, or I can't look at this video, but just the way too, it can even break down new and current events, or go find a particular interview, or give you perspective on something that's real time. I mean, just as the technology continues to get better, again, the possibilities are endless, but I would just love to have it be, as flexible as possible, and just really act in like an assistant role in terms of gathering data or providing a report. And another thing too is even like the podcast research, because I record so much and I'm busy doing a lot of different functions with the business. Sometimes I don't get the time that I'd like to research. So,
right.
You know what I mean? I'm just would love to just put in someone's name and just get a full report on kind of who they are, what they do, questions to ask them, topics to discover. So I don't know. Do you know any LLMs that can do something, something like that?
Well, I would approach that as a prompt, and so that you would have like a 5 or 6 stage prompt that you would use consistently, right? Where maybe you start with the LinkedIn profile, and then say, from this person, they're going to be on my podcast with a link to your podcast, and then connect it in 5 or 6 stages, and then you'd get an output that would be in the format you wanted to see it, and you could basically copy and paste it onto a Google slide or a Google Doc. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try that too.
Yeah. So the prompt creation, and I think that's the other ebook that I'm putting together, is talking to some really smart guys that are have good structured prompt writing or prompt engineering systems, and building kind of these structural prompts, so that exactly what you're talking about, which you take a 15 or 20-minute process, turn it into 1 minute of research, and you can spend 10 minutes reading that way instead of clicking around, right?
Yeah, and I'm curious too, because I heard not long ago, I heard Gary Vee in an interview where he was kind of debunking the fact, AI is going to take all these jobs and whatnot, but he's saying it's going to create so many new jobs. He said there's going to be a position in 10 years called a prompt engineer.
For sure.
And that's going to be a really high value position that people will study for, and kind of, I mean, an evolution of what you're talking about in terms of just how to, whether build the prompts or the right prompts for the right situation. I mean, how do you see that evolving?
Yeah, I think right now the prompt engineers, they have a job right now. So I agree that, in the coming years, it'll be even more critical. But this the hack for prompt writing is to ask the LLM what information it needs, and to ask you one question at a time, to get that information. And so if you let it guide you, then you have a way around needing help, right? Well, it will eliminate some jobs, but it's eliminating these repetitive tasks that are not really, that are more factory jobs at the computer level, right? And it's not human creativity. So I think that right now the level of automation that it's enabling is worth the retraining time that I'm having to go through, that you're having to go through, that anybody who's in business needs to go through in order to stay current and leverage this phenomenal technology.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it's cool, Dave. I really appreciate your time. If people want to talk to you about their entrepreneurial journey, or if they want to get some help with shipping and DC, how do they get in touch with you?
So LinkedIn, I'm always on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me there, Dave Gulas, or just go to davegulas.com. That has links to the company, the podcast, everything I do has links to all the different podcasts I've been on. So this will be up there as well. So yeah, you can connect with me through there.
All right, Gulas, Gulas, Dave Gulas. Well, I really appreciate your time. It's great to see you again, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Okay, thank you, Emanuel.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Dave. Good to see you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.